There aren't many unpatched glitches in Super Mario Maker anymore, is what I would have told you a couple of weeks ago if you had asked me. And very wrong I would have been. Recently I was chatting a little bit with the master of Mario Maker glitches, Psycrow himself, and he opened my eyes once again for how broken Mario Maker actually is. There are so many awesome and broken things still hidden in this game, it completely blew me away. So for the last couple of weeks, Psycrow was kind enough to collect a huge list of all the broken things that are still in the game. And today we're going to take a look at the first bunch of Mario Maker glitches that still work in Mario Maker version 1.47. So are you ready? Let's do this! Okay, so Mario's day starts pretty normal. He hijacked a clown car, he flew through some ouching spikes, he defeated some dangerous killer turtles, and now he finds himself in this area. At the top there is a mushroom imprisoned in the wall. At first glance this mushroom seems to be unreachable, but that's not true, thanks to a pretty interesting glitch Mario learned about while watching Barb's stream recently. With a little bit of practice, it's actually possible to clip into one-way doors when leaving a clown car. So if Mario wants to eat this delicious yum yum mushroom at the top, then our plumber first needs to fly to the right while in the clown car so that he's outside of the one-way door, but the clown car still is inside it. Then he needs to drive back and to jump out of it, and hooray! Now Mario is able to eat this delicious mushroom. And soon afterwards he finds out that he is now trapped in this one block wide gap for eternity. As a side note, this trick actually works with a Goomba shoe as well and is pretty useful for cheesing stages in a 100 Mario challenge. Next, let's take a look at a super weird graphical Bowser Jr. glitch. So first things first, if Bowser Jr. is trapped by one of those evil sideways springs, then he will start to walk in the air. That's already pretty cool, but not the only reason why we built this setup. We built this setup because if Bowser Jr. takes damage while walking in the air like this, he decides that hunting Mario isn't his only purpose in life anymore, and instead decides that standing frozen in place is actually a much cooler activity. Not sure if I agree with him about this, but I have to admit, he looks like a really cool statue while being frozen in place. For the longest time, Bowser had a huge problem. Bowser often has toothache. Normal turtles with toothache just go to the dentist, and Bowser tried that too. But that didn't work out too well because whenever a dentist came near, he just swallowed him as a whole. So the best Goomba engineers of the Mushroom Kingdom had to come together and to find a solution for this problem. This is what they came up with. This simple contraption is called a Bowser Dentist Chair. So what does a Bowser Dentist Chair do? Well, it freezes Bowser in place, which allows the brave dentists to treat Bowser without getting eaten. Hooray! If Bowser were to use his toothbrush more often, this whole nightmare could have been avoided, by the way. Just saying. Here's a really weird glitch Reddit user BooSMM discovered recently. If we put a big muncher into a clown car, put a big enemy on top of the clown car like this, and swap the muncher for a hungry piranha plant, then we actually perform a really strange glitch without noticing it. So what is the glitch, you might ask? Well, if we change the game mode, it should become immediately apparent. The enemy we placed on top of the piranha doesn't agree with us changing the game style, but stays in his preferred game style instead. Sadly, this enemy disappears as soon as the game is played and is never seen again. Nonetheless, this glitch can be useful in order to create interesting thumbnails for our stages, since our ghost enemy is visible in the thumbnail pictures we take. Let's take a quick look at a couple of smaller glitches. If we stack a lot of cannons into a single tile by abusing the fact that cannons travel upwards on the side of conveyor belts, block them by brick block and trigger a P-switch afterwards, then all those cannons shoot towards the top at once and continue to fire. It's a cannon. If a P-switch or a power block are pushed by a pulling sideways spring and then land on top of a spring that moves upwards, then they forget all the written laws of game physics and start to move on their own for a little. This glitch is pretty silly, a lot of fun to toy around with, and sadly a little bit useless. The best way to use this trick I've seen so far was done by the man himself, Psycrow. He used it to build an automated stair kind of thing. Hooray! If a winged muncher shoots out of a pipe but is blocked by a block on tracks while a power block drops onto it, then the power block decides that gravity from now on works horizontally and shoots towards the right. That's a really neat trick that allows for a lot of interesting stages to be built around it. If you want to see this trick in action and a lot of interesting uses for it, make sure to check Mario Maker user Louis19's level POWabunga 2 out. In this stage the trick is brought to really good use and a lot of possible uses for this kind of power cannon are shown. So check this out. YouTuber Smash Boss recently uploaded a video that showcases a trick found by Valiant Alest. This glitch is one of those glitches that really shouldn't be a glitch, but a feature in the first place. Big stretches. So if a boo touches a piece of ground, it becomes a stretch. If a big boo touches the ground, however, it stays a big boo. The really weird thing is that there is a super easy setup to get big stretches into the game. All we need to do is to put a boo on top of a thwomp on top of a muncher, put ground tiles below, remove the muncher, feed the boo a yum yum mushroom, and we're done. Big stretches for everyone. By the way, that's so weird, because big stretches probably were in the game at some point, but then Nintendo decided to remove them for whatever reason. Let's take a look at a new way to fill bottomless pits with a bottom. So here Mario is able to jump, walk and ground pound on thin air. Looks like Mario really likes this. Here he's even able to walk on lava, as if there was no exceptionally hot liquid below him. But why? Well, it's actually surprisingly simple. All we need to do in order to do this is either a blue platform that got confused and believes it's on tracks, or skeleton roller coasters that believe they're on top of tracks. If you don't know how to confuse items onto tracks, there are links in the description that explain the setup. So once we got our confused platforms, all we need to do is to select them together with a door. If we place the door now at the bottom of the screen, the door jumps back to its original position, but the skeleton roller coasters stay down there. Now we can drop items on top of them, like springs, and suddenly the bottomless pit bounces everything back up that tries to fall into it. Hooray! If we use bullet blasters and set the theme to one of Bowser's many castles, then we've created an almost invisible walkway on top of lava. Okay, so let's take a look at my favorite recently discovered glitch, stack flipping. Shout out to Mario Maker user HQ, who, as far as I can tell, discovered this glitch. So here Mario finds himself in an ordinary cave. There are ordinary enemies here, ordinary soul blades and ordinary coins on top of ordinary vines. If Mario follows this ordinary path, he reaches an ordinary teleportation what? Anyway, after this, some ordinary enemies threaten the life of our ordinary plumber before an ordinary elevator appears. This elevator works like most elevators do. All that Mario has to do is to throw this POW block in order to activate this elevator. Then a cannon carries Mario towards the top. Hooray! Okay, so what's going on here? Well, it's actually surprisingly simple, but one of the stranger glitches I've ever seen. If a muncher lives on top of a blue platform and a bullet blaster at the same time, and the bullet blaster is spawn blocked, and Mario loads this in from the side, and there is a solid item below the bullet blaster as well, then a lot of very strange things can happen. What's basically going on here is that the game tries to complete the broken enemy tower, but the cannon can't move through the solid blocks, which causes a lot of really weird behavior. In the stage we saw, the cannon is for some reason linked to the brick block at the bottom. If this block gets triggered, the cannon teleports to this spot, and if Mario jumps into the teleporting cannon, he teleports as well. The same thing happens with the elevator. The POW block triggers a small contraption that triggers the brick block once again and teleports the cannon to the bottom. This teleportation only works in the Super Mario World game style, since the brick blocks work differently here. But the general trick works in all game modes. Let's take a look at a couple of other uses. Here we first have a thwomp that is blocked by air, then a cannon that changes direction and follows Mario a little bit, next a completely stuck chain jump, a teleporting thwomp, an immobilized chain jump, and a bullet blaster that hovers in the air and chases Mario. Awesome, isn't it? By the way, such a bullet blaster is an excellent opportunity for Mario to get stuck for eternity again. This is what the different setups for these tricks look like. Just as a quick side note for anyone who plans on using this trick, for whatever reason, the trick is extremely unstable. Each and every block here is needed to get exactly this behavior out of the thwomp. If we just change one of those blocks, the thwomp will still glitch out when loaded, but probably in a completely different way. But if you do not change anything, it will consistently behave in the same way. There are probably tons and tons of weirder things possible because of this stack flipping glitch, and I highly recommend everyone to toy around with it. It's really fun. You know that something is gonna break, but you never know exactly what's going to break. So those are the first bunch of new glitches. There is still a ton more I haven't found the time to look into yet, so expect more glitches in a couple of weeks. Huge, gigantic, enormous shout out to Psycrow. He was an incredible help when doing this video, and he spent a lot of time collecting tons of different glitches so that we can all take a look at them here. And shout out to Warspecking and Louis19 who helped Psycrow collecting all those glitches. You guys are seriously amazing. The links to the places where the glitches were originally found are in the description. Thanks to all the amazing glitch hunters that constantly make our real world a better place by destroying virtual ones. I hope all of you enjoyed this little video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, and maybe you feel especially glitched out today and want to hit the subscribe button as well. I hope that all of you have a wonderful day and to see you soon. Goodbye!